You guys, June 2025 promises to be one for the books. A fantasy buffet spectacular, you might even say. I'm Nick Hill with Shelf-Esteem, and this is my June 2025 TBR. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Nick Hill with Shelf-Esteem. I'm a composer, also a booktuber. You can find my music in the Wheel of Time Season 2, His Dark Material Season 3, and the newly released The Hills of Tanchico, the featured song in the Wheel of Time Season 3, Episode 6. So, let's talk a little bit about the books I'm going to read. I kind of overextended myself yet again, but if you watch this channel at all, or been a fan of this channel, you know it is what I do best after all. But I'm very excited because I get to be a part of read-alongs with all of you, and it's worth overextending for that. And it's a blast. So let's dive into the books. If you like this kind of video, please like and subscribe, and let's talk about the first one I'm going to read. This one is a buddy read with my dear friend Cliff from Cliff's Dark Gems, and it's called Providence Rider. Now this is book 4 of the Matthew Corbett series. For those of you who don't know, we're doing a soft read along on the channel. Only a few people have joined so far, but we've been having a blast. Cliff and I have been talking, as we make our way through these books. We've read 3 books now so far, and it kind of ends the first arc of this 10-book series about a private investigator who lives in the year, kind of the turning point of the 18th century. So the early 1700s. In this particular book, there are some explosions in his Manhattan neighborhood, and Matthew Corbett is on the case. Now, this is the 4th book, so we're getting close to the halfway mark, and I'm very excited to see how Matthew has grown since the events of Mr. Slaughter, book 3. I think Cliff and I both felt like it was a fantastic book. And it was kind of presented some of the flaws that Matthew Corbett has. I think up until now, he had flaws, but they kind of served him well. In book 3, they kind of were to his detriment. So I'm very excited to see, spoiler free of course, what happens to him as he solves his mystery of the week. But there's always a bigger force at play. We kind of saw a little bit of that at the end of book 2. For those of you who know, you know. And I'm excited to see kind of how that plays out in Providence Rider. That is book 4 of Matthew Corbett. Check them out if you haven't already. I am leaving the link in the description. The Discord channel, we are discussing Matthew Corbett series and a bunch of others as well, so you could join there. The FABLE app also has chapter by chapter if you want to discuss chapter by chapter as well. But that is the first book that I'm going to read. The second book, you guys, finally, I am restarting my first attempt in January of Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn by Tad Williams. Was ill-fated because life got in the way. I got about 100 pages in. Now I'm going to restart the series because I really enjoyed it. And I was talking with Philip Chase, Dr. Fantasy himself, about reading this together. And then Erin from Booked and Busy actually mentioned she's doing a read-along on her channel with some fantastic booktubers who I'm linking down below, some of which I've been following for years as well, Elliot Brooks being one of them. And so I'm very excited to read in a larger group, and we're going to have those discussions. I think the first one is going to be towards the end of June. We're going to be reading these one at a time. So the first one is going to be in June, the Dragonbone Chair. So I'm very excited about this one. I've heard this was the kind of prototype for people like George R.R. Martin when writing Game of Thrones. It was very influential. I'm going to read the back here so you get an idea of what this Osten-Ard universe is all about. It says, a war fueled by the powers of dark sorcery is about to engulf the peaceful land of Osten-Ard. For Prester John, the High King lies dying. And with his death, the Storm King, the undead ruler of the elf-like city, seizes the chance to regain his lost realm through a pact with the newly ascended king. Knowing the consequences of this bargain, the king's younger brother joins with a small, scattered group of scholars, the League of the Scroll, to confront the true danger threatening Osten-Ard. Simon, a kitchen boy from the royal castle, unknowingly apprenticed to a member of this league, will be sent on a quest that offers the only hope of salvation, a deadly riddle concerning long-lost swords of power. Compelled by fate and perilous magics, he must leave the only home he's ever known, and face enemies more terrifying than Osten-Ard has ever seen, even as the land itself begins to die. With the Dragonbone Chair, Tad Williams introduces readers to the incredible fantasy world of Osten-Ard and launches the beloved internationally best-selling series Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. Now, for For those of you who don't know, Tad Williams also wrote another sci-fi series called Otherland. I've read the first book of that, loved it, so I've been very excited to kind of dive into this book. I love the first 100 pages from what I read. I'm excited to read it with fresh eyes and see what things are all about. So if you all want to read along with us, I'll open up a soft read along channel on the Discord. You all feel free to read alongside us and discuss it amongst yourselves, and we'll have our discussion videos one a month as well. So very excited about that. That's the second book that I'm going to be reading. Now the third book is a little bit of a chonker. Luckily, I'm not planning on getting this all done in 1 month. This one is book 4 of The Wars of Light and Shadow by Janny Wurtz, The Fugitive Prince. Now, anything I say about this is probably going to spoil the first 3 books, and I would hate to do that. So I would just say, if you haven't heard of The Wars of Light and Shadow, it's about 2 half-brothers, Erathon and Lysair, the Master of Shadow and the Prince of Light, respectively, and kind of their warring factions, and the subtlety of their characters as you kind of start to realize that the roles that people are portrayed to play are not exactly as they seem. So I had the chance to chat with Janny Wurtz on the channel. I'm going to be chatting with her again this week, so I'm very excited to be able to dive into Arc 2 with her, which was Ships of Marier and Warhost of Vastmark, and we're going to be reading The Fugitive Prince, which begins Arc 3 of this mammoth 11-book series, her magnum opus. So if you haven't heard of the series, I'm linking that below as well. But I'm so excited to dive into these characters again, because the way Warhost of Vastmark ended was with a bang, and I just get this feeling it's going to be consequential for the rest of the series. So I'm super excited about it, you guys, and I can't wait to read it, but I'm going to only read half of it unless I get carried away, which will probably happen, honestly. But in time constraints, I'm not going to pressure myself. These are books that are meant to be savored and taken with a little bit of a slower pace. I've always found that the reward lies in deliberately going slower with Janny Wurtz's books. So yeah, I'm excited to hear if you all are reading alongside us as well. Discord and Fable, of course, have those channels open for you. Let's talk a little bit about the 4th book. So the 4th book should come as no surprise for anyone who's been watching this channel for any length of time, because, as you know, we are doing the official channel read-along of Malazan, Book of the Fallen by Steven Erikson, the 10 very big books, and we will be starting book 4, House of Chains, in June. So, again, it's hard to say what this book is about without spoiling anything from the last 3, but I will say that it apparently introduces Karsa Orlong, I think is the name of the character. That is a beloved character of the series, and that's really all I know about this one. I've heard some people love it, some people are not as keen on it. If it is as slow as people say, I actually get the feeling I will love it, because I like slow burns like that, I like it because Steven Erikson is really good at POV chapters that are not only the captains of an army or something, generals of an army, but also the foot soldiers and what they're feeling like, as they face impossible odds. Like, I love that kind of story that has a multitude of different points of view, and I think Steven Erikson does that really well, and he presents kind of like a more philosophical slant to these things. So I've loved the first 3. Excited to dive into the 4th, House of Chains, and we'll see. I'm going to put a poll out to the Discord members and also on Fable and see how people are doing, because I think some people are falling behind on this read along, and I would hate to make anyone feel any pressure. So I guess, like, I could always say, hey, instead of having 2 months for this book, we could have 3 months or whatever. I don't know. We'll just kind of play it by ear and just see what you all feel like doing. But the main thing is to keep it fun. So I just want to lay it out there. Okay, let's talk about the 5th book. This is one that I'm actually very, very excited about, because, as you know, if you know this channel, I read the Edan Trilogy by Philip Chase last year. I loved every book, and I think I liked each one, better than the last, right? I really enjoyed The Way of Edan. Then The Prophet of Edan just took things up way higher than I would have expected, and it ended on a way that made me feel like, what's next for these characters? What's next for Dayraven? And those questions were largely answered in Return to Edan, but also presents more philosophical ideas that I'm excited to see explored in future entries. And luck behold, Philip Chase is releasing While Darkness Gathers, a sequel to the original trilogy, on June 21st, and I'm very excited to be able to read that in anticipation. And so I am looking forward to diving in headfirst back into this wonderful world of Edan that Philip Chase has created, And I will be a day one reader, so I'm very excited. As soon as I get a copy, I will be diving headfirst into that, because I'm excited to see how things unfold for the characters, the ones that survived, where things have left off. And, you know, I think like Philip has, he always cites a viewer named Chibipo as kind of the inventor of this idea of transcendental fantasy. And I would say Philip Chase's books fit in that category very well. Malazan seems to also fit in that category. Janny Wurtz's books as well. So I'm really enjoying this slant to fantasy, and I'm excited because Philip Chase is not only a fantastic writer, he's also a lover of fantasy. And so that love comes through in the books. And I always feel like it feels like a journey home for me when I'm reading those books. So I'm excited to read While Darkness Gathers. And I'm leaving the pre-order link below as well if you want to check it out. Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much, Philip, for writing such an amazing series. And I'm excited to get to this one. And the final definite book I want to read this coming month in June is, and I don't know if I'm going to get the whole thing, but I'm going to plan to at least read as much of it as I can, and that is Book 2 of the Live Ship Traders by Robin Hobb, Book 5 of her Realm of the Elderlings 16-book magnum opus, and that is Mad Ship. This is the sequel to The Ship of Magic, which I read in May with Ellie from Bibbidi Bobbidi Books. We have been really enjoying it. We've both been chomping at the bit to see where the Vestrit family ends up, what happens with Kyle, what happens with Brashen, what happens with Wintrow's journey, Althea, all these fantastic characters, what's happening with the Rainwilds themselves. I would love to know a little bit more about that, and I'm looking forward to chatting more with Ellie. We're still trying to figure out when we'll do a video discussion of the first book or how we're going to structure that. Well, I'll keep you posted on a community post when that happens, but very exciting times all around. If I have time, I know Nathan Towns, who's a friend of the channel, and I think Dee also, who is also on the Discord, active member on the Discord, and I think they are going to be reading George R.R. Martin's Fever Dream, a vampire kind of novel. And this was, I think, written before Game of Thrones. I'm interested to check out more of George R.R. Martin's works. I don't know if I'll have time to join them, so I'm putting it as a maybe, but let's see what happens. You know, you never know. If I'm able to somehow read 2 books at the same time, hey, maybe that will solve problems. I mean, like 2 books simultaneously, you know, because that's what one does when one has a book reading problem or addiction or solution. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But I'm Nikhil with Shelf-Esteem. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know in the comments like what you got planned for June. I would love to know like what you've got going on. And if you want to add any more books to my TBR, please let me know, because hey, I don't have enough to read as it is, right? Of course. And if you're going to be reading along with any of these, please let me know as well, because I can kind of just keep that in mind, and I can message you directly. We can have that conversation, or in the Discord or something like that. So with that, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and I hope you have a wonderful reading month ahead, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.